What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, Drea, back with a brand new video for you guys. As you can tell by the title, we are getting into the nitty-gritty of my business. Yes, I am going over what worked in Q4 of 2025 as an ed tech consultant and strategist. Q4 was the most transformative quarter in my business, and I'm going to break down the wins, the losses, and the things that worked and didn't work in my business. From deals, proposals, pivots, and everything that I did in Q4 to move my business forward. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my 2026 strategy for Q1 of next year. But before we get into all of the goodies, go ahead and subscribe, because if you're a multifaceted creative, multifaceted entrepreneur, you need to be over here. We're learning, we're growing, we're evolving as entrepreneurs and creatives, and this is the channel you want to stick around for. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel and share this video with another multifaceted entrepreneur. So for those of you who do not know who I am and what I do, my name is Andrea, but I do go by Drea K. If you're talking about the creative, the songwriter, the singer, the multifaceted, multimedia personality, all of the things. When we get into the creative side, I'm Drea K. But when we get into the business and the professional side, Andrea. You see that duality? Yes. But I am a professional consultant, coach, and strategist, not only helping entrepreneurs navigate their journey of entrepreneurship and purpose, but also helping organizations align their goals and their visions with purpose as well. For more information, click that link in the description box below. So let's get into it. I recently pivoted my business from coaching to consulting, and really I just added a layer to my business. Instead of pivoting fully from coaching, I decided to add consulting into there as well. So as a consultant, I have been trying to navigate my way into this industry. I've been trying to figure out the whole RFP proposal situation. I have been trying to figure out income strategies, marketing and branding strategies, and all of the things. I have been navigating this new industry with the help of other consultants. And when I tell you, this industry is so vast. Like, if you're a multifaceted entrepreneur or creative and you want to pivot into consulting, or at least add a layer of consulting to your pre-existing business, trust me, this industry is for you. There are so many things to do, from strategic planning to helping organizations realign their goals and their purpose and things like that. Also, there are also opportunities for project management consulting, program development, curriculum development, and all of the things. So if you have a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, and you just want to pivot into this consulting industry, trust me, this is the right move for you. But in that, I have been trying to navigate this whole industry. What gifts should I use? What skill sets should I lean more into? What type of services do I put out there? What type of opportunities do I go after? So in October, I have been going after all types of opportunities just to see where I can fit into this industry. So in October, I realized that I'm pivoting into this industry at the perfect time, because this is usually a time in Q4. It's usually the time where nonprofits and big corporations are going through a transition fiscally. So they are trying to monitor their budget. They're trying to see what worked, what didn't work, and they're trying to plan for Q1 of 2026. So this is a perfect time for me to align my strategy, my business services, and all of the things into this particular window of opportunity. In that, I have been finding RFPs, which are requests for proposals. And I have been going after opportunities like strategic planning consultant, where nonprofits and organizations will bring in a consultant to help them outline their whole strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years of their organization. Now, I haven't done this particularly before in a more in-depth way, but I went after those opportunities anyway. I was like, you know what? If the Lord sent me over here in this industry, then look, yeah, we're just going to go after it. So I submitted about 15 or 16 proposals, y'all. What is even happening here? I am a full-time entrepreneur, for those of you who do not know. So I had a little time. Okay, I had a little time, right? So I submitted a lot of proposals, most of them dealing with strategic planning. And now that we're here in December, I realized that I was submitting all of these proposals, but being a strategic planning consultant wasn't my heart's desire. That's not what I really want to do. I want to come in as a consultant and really develop programming. I want to develop the organization. I want to integrate technology. I want to create projects and programs that we can implement inside of that particular nonprofit or that organization. And so most of those proposals that I submitted for strategic planning, them people rejected me. And that's not saying, and they didn't give a reason or anything. They usually don't. But in my mind, now that I'm here in December going into the new year, I realized that wasn't really aligned with what I actually want to do. And so once I found what I actually wanted to do and the desire that I had in this industry, I started reaching out to different people, whether that be a director or the CEO of certain organizations. I started reaching out to them directly, telling them about myself, introducing myself, telling them about my business, telling them about my company. And that led to me having meetings. So in my vlogs, you guys will see me going from meeting to meeting to meeting. And these meetings were the result of me pivoting from doing all of those RFPs and then sending cold emails or cold DM requests and messages to those people on LinkedIn, but also going on their website, finding their email address and sending an email to them. Another thing that I did in October was attend networking events. Now, these networking events led to meetings and it led to me connecting with certain people that I can work with on a one-on-one basis or work with for, like events and things like that. I intentionally showed up to these networking events with the posture of, I'm ready to make some real connections. I don't just want to put myself out there as an entrepreneur and, tell people about my services and get clients and things like that. I really showed up with the intention of making real connections. The power in connecting with people in this industry, I'm telling y'all, it is so valuable. The information that you learn from these people, the rooms that you get to be in, the conversations that you get to develop and be a part of is very pivotal in your business. And it is a main or should be a main focal point as an entrepreneur. So out of the 4 connections that I made, 2 of them actually became pipeline opportunities. These 2 potential partnerships can lead to other events. It can lead to other partnerships with bigger corporations, bringing me in as a consultant or really establishing me as a thought leader in this industry. Partnerships also allow me to do what I do on a larger scale to larger audiences instead of just doing things on my own in a silo or just by myself on a day-to-day basis. The key takeaways for October is visibility and proximity. Visibility plus proximity equals access. Being in those rooms, being strategic and intentional about those networking events, who you are connecting with, having follow-up meetings after those networking events is going to set you apart and it's going to lead to more opportunities. So let's go ahead and get into November. So November was all about structuring, systemizing, and expanding my services. So for the month of November, once I realized that, okay, I don't really want to do strategic planning. I want to do something more innovative and creative. So once I got an idea of what it is that I wanted to do and what I was actually passionate about, I started to tighten up my offers. And instead of going after the opportunities where I would be facilitating board meetings and things like that, I decided to pivot into curriculum development and program management. Now, this was something that I was exposed to in my coaching business, but also in my previous job at the engineering company. I was embedded into different types of programs that was going on, and I acted as a project coordinator. So doing something like this on a larger scale would allow me to gain the experience, but also implement the experience that I already have. November also gave me the opportunity to really figure out how I wanted to systemize things, how I wanted to reach out to people and organizations to get more meetings, how I wanted to automate those systems, how I wanted to communicate back and forth with potential clients, even how I wanted to submit the proposals. all of that gave me an opportunity to really figure out how I wanted to approach the business side of dealing with clients and potential customers. So I really focused on my B2C model in my coaching, but within this consulting space, I realized that I had to develop and really be strategic in my approach to developing a B2B model, how I was going to position myself as a consultant, as a thought leader, as somebody that organizations can trust outside of positioning myself for individual clientele. This was an opportunity for me to take what I've already done in coaching and implement that into my services. So instead of doing one-on-one approaches, I'm now taking that into group coaching approaches into consulting. So say an organization has members, or they have, high schoolers, or people that a large group of people that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. I would now take my one-on-one approach in coaching, strategically implement that for a group coaching setting. So really focusing in on group facilitations, what that looks like as a workshop, what that looks like as implementing those things, but also the material, the curriculum, workbooks, how I was going to implement the program inside of these larger audiences. This was also an opportunity for me to create consulting packages. It's like, okay, I know how to do X, Y, and Z. Now let me put all of that into one offer and sell that as a package. And this was the month that really allowed me to see my capacity, to see who I needed to hire, how many people I needed to hire, and really understand my business structure and my business model for running the business once those proposals and packages were approved. November was also the month where I got more meetings. So this is me going into meeting spaces, meeting with directors and, people in higher positions of that organization. This allowed me to get more confident in front of people. This allowed me to better articulate what it is that I do, what I can do. And it was an opportunity for us to share vision, to share alignment, to share similarities in the vision that both companies are trying to execute. If I found that alignment was in the works, I will then send in a proposal, and then I would wait for approval. Right now, I have 3 proposals that I sent out to those companies. And because we are in the middle of transitioning fiscal years and also the holidays and things are coming up, I probably won't hear back from them until January. But at least me getting those proposals in, having those conversations, having those meetings, it set me up for Q1 of next year. So let's get into the sales meetings and proposal phases. So November was the month that I did a lot of outreach. So that was me doing a lot of research on LinkedIn, researching different companies and organizations to potentially partner with them and give them my services and things like that. So I did all of that on LinkedIn. I'm telling y'all, LinkedIn is the place for you if you are a coach or a consultant and you really want to get in contact with those executive directors and people who are specifically in the position to either grant you a proposal approval or put you in proximity to other people that are the decision makers. So after I did the research, I sent out those DMs and those emails, and once I got a reply, I then set up a meeting. Once that meeting was conducted, afterwards I would submit a proposal and then submit it. Currently, I am in the process of submitting 2 more proposals as we are talking about this in real time, and I am currently waiting on 3 proposals to be approved. So something that worked is clearly me outreaching to people on LinkedIn. This works. Sending cold emails works, especially if you are getting your foot in the door with consulting and coaching and really positioning yourself and your brand on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been a great catalyst for me getting those meetings and being able to submit those proposals. So in doing a lot of researching, I realized that the decision makers aren't necessarily the people that you come in contact with. Say you're on LinkedIn and you find an executive director, you get in contact with them, you set up a meeting, and most of the time, because they aren't the decision makers, you have to wait until they get in contact with a decision maker, and then you can move forward in the process, in the pipeline, your sales pipeline, in submitting your proposal and things like that. So while you are making these connections and finding these people, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are the decision makers. You want to be very strategic in who you contact so that that sales process moves along very quickly. So let's go ahead and do a December recap. And this is going to consist of content creation, my audience, my brand visibility, and me positioning myself on social media. So I have my laptop here, so I'm going to just read some metrics on here for you guys. Let's get into B2C growth metrics. Let's talk about some social media wins. So when I say B2C, I'm talking about my business to consumers. So people that watch my YouTube videos, people that subscribe to my newsletter, everybody on my Substack, YouTube, and all of my social media platforms. The people who are not necessarily those decision makers and who don't represent a business or an organization. These are just, direct to consumer. So on YouTube, I now have 1,600 subscribers. And in the last 28 days, my account has reached over 3,774 views within 28 days. In that time, I averaged about 16 subscribers per month. So every month I'm bringing in 16 plus subscribers. And that's just based off of the frequency of the videos that I am uploading specifically in this quarter. So on LinkedIn from October to now, I have a total of 1,030 followers. Hey, come on, let's get into it. I have 15,318 impressions. So anytime I made a post, anytime I uploaded something, those posts generated most of these impressions. Now, I'm also finding on LinkedIn that comments, when you leave a comment on somebody else's post, that gets a lot of impressions too. So the 15,318 impressions, a lot of that had to do with the comments and the interactions and engaging on other people's content as well. Within that, I have 6,498 members reached. So that's across LinkedIn. 6,498 members, people that are actively looking at my post and people that I'm able to reach, whether that be engaging in my content, me engaging in their content, or me just posting on a daily basis. That's the average amount of members that I am reaching with my content. So my top 3 posts were titled, "Your ideas are not dumb, you're just not talking to the right people." And that was just a text post. So it didn't have any videos or anything attached to it. That post itself got 2,535 impressions. So that's the amount of people that saw that actual post. The next one is top 5 skill sets every entrepreneur needs. And that was an actual text post, but I did attach a video to it as well. I just took a clip of, I think, the YouTube video that I did a couple of videos back, and I just attached it to this post. And that got 1,341 impressions. The last one is unlocking multidimensional talent in engineering and construction. And this was just a text-based post, no video or anything. And this was 970 impressions. And this is surprising because on a week-to-week basis, I kind of iron out the topic that I want to focus in on my LinkedIn. And that particular week, I was trying to figure out a way to establish myself as an authority figure, as a thought leader in the engineering and construction space. So surprisingly, that post got 970 impressions. So one thing that I did notice is while all of these impressions are good and the data is saying that these impressions are good, the engagement from these posts are something that I'm really looking into. So out of that data, I only got 279 reactions. So it's like a little button on the post that you can, it's like a like button. So it's a like and then it's a reaction button. And a total of 279 is not that much. considering all of the impressions and the reach that I got. I have a total of 51 comments, which isn't a lot as well. I got 2 reposts and 13 saves. Now, like I said, the impressions are there. Engagement is not. And what that's telling me and giving me for a focal point of 2026 is to create more engaging content. So while I was establishing myself as a thought leader and an authority figure, it wasn't that engaging. So this data tells me that moving into Q1 of 2026, I definitely need to focus on more relatable content, but also content that's going to be more engaging to my audience. So if you guys didn't know, I did reactivate my Instagram account. I created a whole new account, and right now I have about 30 followers, and I'm following about 70 plus influencers and content creators. So I'm not posting as frequently on that platform because it's new, and I really just trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out the approach that I want to take to Instagram again. But while I have been posting, I have been getting up to 300 plus views and impressions on those actual videos that I have been posting, but it's just not on a consistent basis. So I'm not really focused on Instagram at this time. I'm focused on LinkedIn, Substack, and YouTube. So I do have a Substack newsletter called Living in Pursuit, and I basically walk people through my journey of just my relationship with God, things that happen on a day-to-day basis, these premonitions and revelations that I be getting that I want to articulate to my audience, and really just real-time things that go on in my journey of pursuit towards entrepreneurship. And I communicate that within my newsletter. So I have about 280 subscribers on Substack, and there is a paid feature, but I only have 1 paid subscriber. So a focal point for 2026 is to really think about integrating an offer into my Substack, or really just building more community on my Substack, and really giving people that drive and that option to move towards a paid subscription. So I'm not making a lot of money on Substack right now, but I am growing my subscriber list. So moving forward, going into Q1 of 2026, I definitely want to focus on creating a content strategy that works for me, whether that be uploading more YouTube videos, focusing on shorts, focusing on content that isn't going to take up a majority of my time. Now, I do understand that long form content is, it's relatively good for people that want to sit down and actually learn what it is, that's going on in my business, but also about entrepreneurship too. But I do want to focus a little bit more on short form content. So this is an opportunity for me to really utilize the Reels feature on Instagram, the Shorts feature on YouTube, and the video feature on Substack as well, and on LinkedIn. So creating short form videos where the camera is like vertical, and really just, establishing myself as a thought leader, but also doing more engaging content. So for a little bit of some December insights, my content drove visibility. I'm very visible on these social media platforms, but I do want to focus in on creating more engaging content. Visibility drove leads. So me positioning myself on LinkedIn, me putting myself out there, creating these types of posts, establishing myself as an authority and a thought leader, allowed the people that I'm reaching out to get meetings and stuff like that. So that drove leads, and it drove credibility within establishing potential partnerships. So let's talk about what worked in Q4. Direct outreach to decision makers, networking events, content consistency, especially on YouTube and LinkedIn, Substack as a long form trust builder, expanding service suite. So the different types of services are now being implemented and put into those requests for proposals moving forward. And the last one is my professional network is expanding. So while I'm having these meetings and meeting these executive directors and CEOs, I'm now able to add them into my ecosystem. So let's get into what I am changing in Q1 of 2026. I need a stronger B2C conversion strategy. So I have all of these impressions. I have this growing subscriber list. Now I need to focus on converting them, creating some type of offer, some type of service for them in order to start generating some revenue in my business. So my new priority is to build a clear B2C funnel. So this could be accelerators, workshops, digital products, courses coming in 2026, things like that, so that I can convert those people into sales. One offer that I did soft launch on Substack, and if you aren't following me on Substack, make sure you click the link in the description box below. But one offer that I am soft launching over there is my Kingdom Business Accelerator. This is for Christian entrepreneurs who want to turn their gifts and their talents into a thriving business and consulting firm. This is my opportunity to really go deeper into the operations, the branding, the messaging, all of the things embedded inside of a coaching and consulting business. This means turning your talents and your gifts into revenue. Showing you how to do that, giving you a workflow, giving you templates, dashboards, all of the things that you need to launch your coaching and consulting firm. That is launching in January 26th, 2026 to be exact, and it is limited spots. I'm only taking about 6 or 7 people, preferably female coaches and consultants, but I'm soft launching that, so I haven't really got into a full-on content creation strategy yet. But because we are in December, I'm definitely going to start rolling out more content, more emails, talking about it on my Substack, and sending out those blasts to enroll people into that accelerator. It is a 6-month accelerator, so we're going to be taking our time each month, really developing mindset habits, professional development, going deeper and deeper into this actual business, your offers, your identity, your identity as a coach and a consultant, and really understanding the mission and purpose of your business. In my previous video, I talked about storytelling and how I really wanted to implement that into my new content creation strategy for 2026. So that is definitely a focal point. Building video series focused on storytelling. So like mini trainings, mini videos, basically what I do on here, but in short form content. This can look like weekly in real life founder diaries. So, following me throughout the day, establishing new partnerships, going to more networking events, and having more behind the scenes of my meetings and things like that. This can look like case studies of my client transformations. Once I get the approvals, glory be to God, I'm then going to be able to have more content going more in depth of my services and things like that. Another thing that I want to focus on when it comes to content creation is content upgrades. So this includes me getting more equipment, certain type of like microphones. I want to get a bigger microphone so that I can kind of do like a podcast style video every now and then. I also want to get a stabilizer, for my videos. Editing upgrades, so different fonts, different icons, things like that I can embed in all of my content. I need a new hard drive because this one's driving me nuts. This one is driving me nuts. Okay, I've been having this for years, and as I try to plug this up into my laptop, it doesn't read. So we need a new one. I want to get a mini bag for my camera, so I can vlog on the go, but also not have my camera inside of my purse. I want like a bag where I can put that in there. I want to be able to stuff these microphones in there as well, chargers, ports, memory cards, all of the things. I also need a second battery and more memory cards as well. So to recap and close out this video, I really want to say that Q4 was the quarter that really allowed me to set my business up for success. Not only did we focus on branding my services and offers and things like that, but I was also able to brand myself. I'm positioned to where now people are coming in contact with me, speaking opportunities are coming, opportunities to do workshops, different ecosystems that I am now a part of, different ecosystems that I am now being able to structure on my own. So this is going to allow me to go into 2026 with clarity, but also a strategic plan of action. So that's all I have for you in this video. I hope it was encouraging to you all. Make sure you engage in this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what your Q4 wins or losses were. Let me know what you're going to be changing and implementing more into your business going into 2026. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, but also subscribe to my newsletter on Substack. Also, if you are ready to take your business to the next level and pivot into coaching and consulting, go ahead and join the Kingdom Business Accelerator. Limited spots are available. Again, I'm only taking 6 female entrepreneurs. So if this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, make sure you register today. The link is in the description box below. So that's all I got for you guys today. I love you all, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.